slow down your walk and find a place to stop. Without moving, follow someone else with your eyes. How long can you keep them in your vision?
So when I close my eyes, I can see the sea, the white sand and the sea. In the evening, all of us go and play in the sand. Or after the school, we lived in ghettos where all the Asians are. Didn't have white people living near there. But Muslim and everybody together. We would draw a game on the floor with charcoal, and as a little girl we play with the marble, whoever draw, have a hole and play. We lost so much that our children won't know what they are missing.
इधर बॉबी में काम करती है, बासन साफ कर।
Okay.
50 pence का लगता।
She used to work in Bobby's restaurant here in Milton Road, and 1 hour 50 pence.
No, हमारे husband no children। Laundry में काम कर रहा 11 years।
She was
press।
She used to work in laundry in ironing and press.
No, ironing electric बड़ा।
Oh, yeah, electric press. Okay, okay.
एक कलाक की 600 शर्ट प्रेस करती है।
Okay, एक 600 मतलब नंबर में इंग्लिश
600
600 एक घंटा में।
एक घंटा में
1 hour she press 600 clothes.
Let's walk out of the shop and turn right. Try to walk always in between two people or in between two things. Weave in an imaginary thread into the space.
And we saw the pictures on the TVs that it was Idi Amin, General Amin, that brought actually live news coverage and giving that speech that he wants all the Ugandan Asians to leave the country in 90 days. And by the afternoon, we had army trucks coming up this road, army men going up this road, and all sorts of happening. And as I talk now, my legs are actually shaking. And then I think it was like curfew. So curfew means you can't go outside and no lights on as well. So how can anybody live without light? And it used to be half a day of school, so early school start and sort of lunchtime finish. When it's really, really hot at noon, younger children would come home. And I had like chauffeurs coming to pick me up. But during the rain, Africa, Uganda especially, doesn't have a season such as rainy or summer. It's throughout hot, and it's very, very green country. So it could rain at any minute. And in a few seconds it could become dry again, and it's hot rain. And I used to love running home or playing out in the rain. I can always imagine that, playing out in the rain and smelling the red soil, because the soil in Africa, Uganda especially, is red. And when the water actually came down, the soil would smell so sweet, and I could still, every time I memorize, I could still smell the red soil. Four years ago, my sister is younger than me, and my auntie and a couple of uncles, they all went to Uganda again. So your sister was lucky that she went last year. Last year, I mean, 4 years ago, she did say to me, Aruna, come with us, you'll love it. Come on, because it's your childhood. And I said, I don't feel like coming now. But when she went and she told me, she goes, you know, it's worth visiting our childhood again.
So even though I've been instructed to watch a performance, and then for you to feel like you're the performance itself because others are then observing you, that's a really peculiar thing. So those ladies that came out of the chemist, and you know, so every 10 steps they were looking back individually, in a sense, to maybe even just check with themselves that I was still there. And so every time I gained eye contact with them, there was that moment of both myself and them acknowledging that that was a strange experience. But for me, of course, I'm informed by what I'm doing. So there's so it's really fascinating because I have a sense that I'm then the performer rather than them being the performer. Yet I'm watching them as a performer. It's a really kind of really interesting perspective. Yeah, and then there's this kind of mad choreographic moment where people are kind of running into the frame and then standing still and kind of observing themselves and then not quite knowing what to do with themselves. And so there's also a really interesting relationship between I'm sitting there trying to observe what might be performative about everyday life, and so I'm seeing the choreographic things, and then they're doing the same, but they're unaware that I'm watching them doing that. It's really interesting.